Continuing. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30, true. The only person I saw go to the studio before them was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. Unless they went there first at 1. Were waiting. So, if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be this steel samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Alright. Again, more question. How do you know that? Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the detective, and then, after some rubbish about it being a secret pal, he told me everything. So he shares his fellow officers' fondness for donuts. The only person I saw go to the studio before them was Will Powers. The only person you saw doesn't mean to say the only person who did it. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody's suspicious looking passed by at all. Nobody's suspicious looking. Right. No one else went there. What about before you got to the guard station? This is what I was hoping for. You mean before 1? Everyone was in the employee area before then, so even the props girl was in the employee area. So she would have still been there when the guard left, right? And you locked the main gate so no one could get in, because nobody would be able to climb over. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. You wouldn't have seen them though at pre-1 o'clock. Are you sure? The witness has answered that question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy. Oh god, edgy boy. Old Windbag sure has balls. Oh, well, you know what I mean. Old Windbag has a way of skipping over the important details after all. Or, for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps? Okay, what do we have to push against? This hasn't helped with anything. The person I saw go to the studio before them was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. Do we object with the photo again, I wonder? Because it's number 2. No one else went there, but there are 2 pictures. So that's photo number 2, right? Let's present it with this one, but no one else went there. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photograph was taken by the cameras at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So, whenever anyone passes here, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway, it's also true the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note on the back of the photo, I printed the words, October 15th, 2 PM, photo number 2. Even I know that it means it was taken at 2 PM on October 15th. Really, Sonny. Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo 2. Photo 2? The computer only held data for 1 photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photograph be photo 1 if it really was the only photo? Well, I mean, really, everybody coming and going would have triggered it, so there wouldn't even be photo 2, but whatever. Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1 but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet, there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Whoa. Hey, you watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. Really? You saw a lot of other people. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help. Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Is something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai? Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. I see. Your testimony, please. Now we're going to find out who else went through. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Ms. Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I only just remembered it. Right, anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Didn't we all? The other person, then. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have another important job to do. We're gonna question everything. Another job. That's right, I check all the people that passed by the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of the photos that security camera takes. Do you back up the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes, but those computers are just so frustrating. Oh god. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. It skipped 2... Yeah, it skipped 2 pieces of text for some reason. How many photos are there usually? One a day when we're open to the public. We get more than 500 people. But on filming days, on rehearsal days, well, we don't have much money. We never get more than 50, and that's a big day. Do you back up the camera data? Blah, blah, blah. You know that. There are any photos that aren't suspicious looking. So you decide what's suspicious. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces for the most part. Wow. For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Like, everything is important. Come to think of it, now I do remember throwing out one photo that day, okay. And what photo is that? Who in the heck was in the photo you erased? A fanboy. A fanboy? A Steel Samurai fanboy. Real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. The internet. They're always hanging around about there was one that day. Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. A grate has been loose for a while, it leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. Sewer rats. I told you they were freaks. Oh, and... they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Kids? So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order, order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studio that day. One that was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg, the other was a boy who looked to be about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well, we see his type here every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Possibly, yeah. And muster the strength to pierce the guy's body suit costume and all that stuff. Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy. Right, as I said, I didn't pay much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in the security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone wanting to steal a Steel Samurai costume, so where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick! What are we going to do? First we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right. If we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic. At all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please, don't sigh like that. The only other person who could have potentially staged this would be the security guard, but I don't know. I mean, no one else is there to vouch for the fact that she did her job to begin with. If we believe it was a kid, then fine. She has no reason to lie about that if... Yeah. Even if she did do it, she wouldn't lie about it. Just thinking this through real quick. We have to accuse the right person. Could be the props girl. She might have known about the sprained ankle, or the fact that she's dragging herself on the spear is nothing at all to do with the sprained ankle, and everything to do with the size of the costume being too big and heavy for her. Okay. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on the matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one else that could have committed the crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Refresh yourself a bit lurking, no problem. You lurk away. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Moment of truth. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware, this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. Who was this person, other than Mr. Powers, that could have committed the murder? I'm thinking the assistant as a potential... I mean, she's in charge of props, right? Maybe she was... I don't know. Why would she... Oh, couldn't be the grade school boy. I mean, the fact that they were snapped anyway on the camera. They didn't have the spear with them. The person who was on photo number 2 had the spear. So it can't be the grade school boy. Don't think it's the security lady. That would not be a good idea to go pointing the finger at her. She has no reason to kill the guy. She actually idolizes this guy. So why would she kill him? She wouldn't. Unless there's some, like, I don't know, relationship shit in the background, but we don't know that. The assistant girl didn't see the spraining of the ankle and the breaking of the props, but she was shuffling stuff around. She does like Mr. Powers as well. She said he wouldn't hurt a fly. I don't know. I feel like the security lady is just too obvious a choice. We're supposed to hate her because of the way she's been portrayed. And she does lose her shit. But I think she takes her job super seriously. She wouldn't be going around killing people. Let's go with the assistant. It was the assistant. Steel Samurai costume was in his dressing room. She stole it, and in doing so became the Steel Samurai. So you're saying the Steel Samurai in the picture is really his assistant? That's correct, Your Honor. If you're serious, you've got guts, Mr. Wright. Remember the photo? Wasn't the Steel Samurai a little lame? He was dragging his foot. Oh, bad feeling time. Remember the testimony concerning Powers' injury. Powers and poor Hammer were at the run-through. Oh, and me? What about the assistant? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. The assistant knew nothing of Mr. Powers' injury. She could look the Steel Samurai look with that costume, but she couldn't walk the Steel Samurai walk. He wouldn't have limped. That kind of takes the legs out from under that case. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I have to penalize you as warned. Oh God. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. May we move on, Mr. Wright? Okay, so I guess my idea was not accurate. Your Honor, one more chance, please. Very well, go ahead. Who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? Gotta be the security lady then. It was the security lady. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in the picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that and the injury in the morning. Sam! 2 years now! Thank you very much for that resub. How are you, my friend? Good to see you today. Objection! Wow, 24-month streak, 24-month total. You're a boss. Thank you for that. How are you today? Cabo! Okay, so unless they want to do some BS about revealing it was the kid due to information the player wasn't allowed to know, it can only be the security guard. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I thought it was too obvious, but... I mean, this is just getting us another day. We've had to cast on someone who is likely the suspect at the moment. We might reveal information later that it is the girl, because I don't think the security guard did it. I just can't get over the fact that their legs don't fit in the pants of that bloody costume. It's got to be someone who doesn't measure up. And the security guard lady looks pretty tall. So yeah, and that's the reason they're dragging themselves along, so they can't, you know, shuffle across. But why would she kill the guy that she liked? She was all aflutter about him. Maybe because they'd been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, old bag. What? Whippersnappers. Sorry, Matt, I have a strict 2 years rule about subs. You're out. Oh no. Ooh. Also, waiting for an ultrasound appointment. Oh, dear. Hope nothing shows up bad. Which means you should probably shower. Yeah. Good idea. Is this true, Old Bag? Old Bag? That's Miss Old Bag to you. Miss Old Bag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. He was in his costume. She could point the finger to Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Deepers, hello. How are you? Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes #2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up and down with an objection of some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. Wow. Here comes the bus, and Edgeworth just pushed her under it. You're good? Awesome. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it. It's my fault, is it? Edgy boy. Don't just sit there, do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this a whole new way. Press further or give her a break? You love this case? I'm enjoying it so far, it's really good. I'm doing great, thank you very much. Right, press further, I think. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Ms. Oldbag's actions that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forgot that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Oh, many hard feelings. Press her. He didn't just push her under, he drove the bus back over her twice. Wait, just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? You mean the one you said couldn't possibly be a suspect because you thought they were unsuspicious? Couldn't have wielded the spear. The boy! The one whose photo I erased! He's only a grade schooler, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, wasn't it? That doesn't matter. When I saw that age, I could pin my old man... when I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops. Okay. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it, be nice to the kids, you mean, to your elders' day? Wait, what? Or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders' day, whippersnapper? I have no proof. Oh, proof? Indeed. And let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed the murder. Well, again. Is it the photo? Oh, the key card. He couldn't get in. He couldn't get into the studio, right? He can't get into any of the studio lots without a key card. How would he have that? The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a keycard to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studio have a keycard? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The windbag's speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. Clap her in irons. This court will suspend proceedings on this current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. Miss Windy? What was her name? Something Old Bag, Your Honor? Oh my god. Merciless. Then the prosecution will look further into this Old Bag before we continue. Old Bag. That is all. This court is adjourned. Oh yeah. Oh, wait a second. Here we go. I'm not trying to sit here while you're barking up the wrong tree about me. I'm talking. God. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. Ms. Oldbag, what's this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? Edgeworth giving any shit is beautiful, yes. You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Interesting. Well, testify. My lips were sealed with a kiss. I mean, maybe not, but... Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me just to pretend like they hadn't been at the studios that day. Yes, but then wouldn't there be 3 photos? Or were you lying about the child? But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Legit admitting to obstruction of justice. Yes, it's like, well, great. You can go to jail for that one, then. Perjury. This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, cross-examine. Boy. Oh, boy. Okay. You know, we've had a resub as well. Shouldn't we have a BR for that? I think we should. Let's have a battle royale. Real quick. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. Hold it. So you were told not to talk. That's right. By the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Who were these people? Well, the director, the producer for starters, the director. I mean, obviously, if they're doing rehearsals, the director's going to be there, right? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised. No one asked about it. So, where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime. They had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in Studio 2 earlier. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Yes, Phoenix, you know there was. You were told there was. Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. Oh, look who won the Battle Royale! Sorry, guys. Losers. Sorry. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head has fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... continue. Boo! Rigged. Of course. I mean, no, absolutely not. So they said they had nothing to do with it. Let's have a look. Right, so it hasn't skipped one. Sometimes it skips over a middle one. They said they had nothing to do with it. Ms. Oldbag, this is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it, and they gave me a little bonus on the side. Oh really, you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions. Now let's keep going. No harm in getting as much info as we can. They told me to pretend that they hadn't been at the studio that day. So they were actually in the studio. Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. Grrr, I'll kill this woman, I swear it. Okay, everybody heard that. If she turns up dead, Edgeworth is the suspect. I feel sorry for Edgeworth, almost. She really left him hanging on this one. But if you're gonna go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Right, so that's the last one. Them. Who were these? We already got that. Yeah, this is the same thing we saw earlier. Yeah, we've already been through all this. So they had a meeting in Studio 2, which means anyone could have gone in there and killed the guy without being seen. But they don't use it for filming anymore. They just have it for storage, I think they said. I don't think there's anything we can object to. We need evidence, so let's go with that. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it's impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defence's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Ms. Oldbag. More information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends today's proceedings with the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is adjourned. Yeah. Alright. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Oh, really? It's nothing. Grin. Oh, or should I? We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigation. We have to find out more about the director and producer. They'll be turning up the next trial as witnesses for certain. I'd also recommend the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Oh, really? Cool. Now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was that that was in the Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. I don't either. Yeah, I know, look. I was buying for time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off of Mr. Powers. Poor old Windbag, I feel kinda sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there with or without my acquisitions. Edgelord has the right to be annoyed. His reputation as a lawyer could be tainted by sabotage by the very client he was tasked with helping. Exactly, yeah. He brings her in, then he's like, wait a minute, she didn't tell me everything, I don't know everything, I have no information, all this is news, she forgets a bunch of stuff, and it's like, that's him. That's all on him. He's the prosecutor. He's supposed to bring everything. They were very lackadaisical about this. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right, we'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks guys. To be continued. Save my progress? Hell yes.